Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and as we await the next expansion announcement, which we're thinking is probably happening this upcoming week, and the upcoming standard rotation that comes along with it, it got me thinking, and I tweeted out something pretty similar the other day, but the more I think about it, how much different this standard rotation feels, at least for me, and how I just feel like it's gonna be brutal. It's bittersweet. It's gonna hurt in ways that I don't think I've ever felt in all my years of making Hearthstone content, at least on YouTube. And like, it's almost 4 years, by the way. The end of February, it's our 4-year anniversary on the channel. We hit 75,000 subscribers this year. We're on the road to 80K. If we had 100,000, I'm shaving this beard and we'll do a charity event. It'll be really cool. So if you feel like I've earned your subscription, hit that sub button, give the video a like and all that. But I want to talk about today just how standard rotation, at least for me, again, this is a personal, this is a feels thing, and I'd love to hear your guys' comments on it, is gonna kind of suck in some ways compared to prior years. And well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's just look right now. I'm looking at the year of the Griffin. That was the standard rotation that rotated Forged in the Barrens, United in Stormwind, and Fractured in Alterac Valley. And if you know me at all with United in Stormwind, I could not stand these stupid, stinking quest lines, right? The final showdown, all these quest lines. I couldn't stand the majority of them, right? And Fractured in Alterac Valley brought us these hero cards, and I was so ready for them to go, and Il'gynoth and Mr. Smite, and it was one of the worst years, at least in my experience playing Hearthstone, was this year. It felt like it was really devastating to the game. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people, it's so crazy how many comments I get from people of like, I've come back because I quit during Stormwind in particular, and it's Hearthstone better, and I think it's a lot better. And that's what I want to talk about, is that this year, the year of the Hydra was last year. I think was it the year? I don't even know what the year is this year. Kraken? No, it wasn't Kraken. I don't know what the current year is. I'm an old man. I'm confused. We'll find out the new year soon, I guess. We got the year of the Hydra, and it's one of the best years I've seen in Hearthstone, probably since we got like what, Ungoro, Frozen Throne, and we got Kobolds in the same year. Those are 3 pretty crazy expansions. A lot of them are really beloved, especially Ungoro and Frozen Throne. And I take a look at these 3 sets. I see a lot of stuff people really love. There's of course the stuff that we hate. We'll talk about that in a second. But this is a year where usually I'm just like, really, I can't wait for standard rotation. I just want these cards gone. And this rotation, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I want to see stay around. There's just such cool stuff, and there's not that many cards, not that many gameplay experiences that I got from these sets that just drove me crazy. There are those exceptions, especially Nathria, but this is going to be a rotation. If you're just like, I'm not aware of the kind of cards we're losing, are really just a major bummer. That can always change, of course, whenever we find out what the core set is. They can decide to keep a card around, like a Fossil Fanatic stays in the core set and you're super happy about it. But I take a look at these cards. There's the exceptions. Like Lady Athena was, not the most fun thing in the world. But I look at Colossals. Colossals, one of the coolest mechanics Hearthstone has ever introduced. I'm going to be sad to see like all of them leave. There really isn't one I dislike, which is such a rarity in the game. Like, we just look up Colossal. Like, I think the only one that really irked me was the Warrior one with like the Mana Cheat and the Mr. Smite. But Hydralodon's one of my favorite hunter cards ever. And like, I just feel like the game is going to lose something significant unless you play Wild, where you can't play the majority of these cards because they're too slow. But yeah, like Hydralodon, we're losing Gaia, the Leviathan, Blackwater Behemoth, Krakatoa. Even this card, I can't stand Rogue, right? These days, it's the Shadow Steps that I know is sticking around. It's sticking around. But like Krakatoa, just a rad, really cool card. The way the artwork works with the extensions, it's going to be such a sad, like, bummer to watch these cards leave. And you look at the entirety of the set, there's other cards that the dredge mechanic, I've never seen anyone complain about dredging or Sir Finley being a really cool card. I even mentioned I'd love to see Amalgam of the Deep in the core set. Like, there's so many cards from the set that feel like they could belong in the core set. The Amalgam of the Deep, you know, choosing that friendly minion and getting the minion type card, right? It just slots into so many good tribal decks. It feels so nice. I think, was the mistake even made this set, or am I mistaken? Oh, I think I was mistaken. There's just so many like really cool cards, right? Like the biggest offenders of like frustrating cards are like maybe Okani, which actually feels like a fair version of Objection, a card ILO that is from this year. And again, it's going to be a set I'm going to really miss. Castle Nathria, it's more of the neutral legendaries that were like kind of the problems, right? Like the Theotars at 4 mana was pretty gross. You know, the Jailer created issues. Denathrias, almost every neutral legendary got nerfed, even Renethal. I think the only one that didn't get nerfed is the Murloc Holmes, and then you got the mini set version legendary of Sylvanas, right? Everything else got nerfed, like Kael'thas and all that, but Nathria was one of the most flavorful expansions we've ever seen. Like the murder mystery vibe it created was really cool. We got the infuse mechanic, and you just look through the cards, like such cool stuff we're gonna lose. Remornia, and I rarely ever do I ever have this feeling where we're gonna just lose a lot of cool stuff. Like, it's almost like a real negative with this rotation in comparison to a lot of other years where I'm like, I just want these cards to go. I want Gen and Baku to leave a year early. I want, you know, the Toxic Ashes of Outland or Skullman's Academy overpowered cards to leave. Although I did like Skullman's, to be fair. I just looking through these cards, and there's not much outside. Okay, the rogue stuff is pretty gross. It got heavily nerfed, and but there's not a ton of stuff that absolutely drives me crazy. And also the fact that Nathria brought in locations. Every class got a location. There's probably going to be a lack of locations for certain classes. Like, they have felt like the core identity for a lot of classes. Like, can you imagine many priest decks these days without Cathedral of Atonement? They exist, but they're so rare. They've just slotted in really well. So that's going to be another thing that's going to feel really weird. And again, we got March of Lich King was just the cherry on top for this year of getting a brand new class. And it's another thing where one of my favorite archetypes they've ever made in Hearthstone, Triple Blood, like Blood Death Knight, the majority of this stuff is set to rotate unless it's added to the core set. And again, to me, that's just like another real net negative. And you look through the majority of the set, I actually, for Demon Hunter, I rarely like Demon Hunter stuff these days, but the Outcast package was fun. I played it quite a bit. It got nerfed and all that, but I think, Walloper? But overall, the Outcast stuff worked really well. Druid didn't really get an expansion that set outside of a Newport Cup, which just toxic, but Arcane Hunter was really popular, and just such cool cards, such a good year of Hearthstone that, you know, instead of making that video, I can't wait for these cards to leave, or this was the worst year ever in Hearthstone, like we talked about multiple times with the United Stormwind, I just wanted to go over and just say, like, I think the last year and this year too, if we look through the current year of Hearthstone, Festival Legends, Titans, Showdown in the Badlands, I think have all been really good expansions. I think they took the lessons that we had with the United Stormwind, with the Alterac Valley, where board really started to not matter, where OTKs and really just, I don't know, non-Hearthstone-y stuff, to me, at least that's how it felt, became the norm. They really listened to the feedback. We complained a lot. I took a lot of flack for complaining a lot. It was a lot of craziness, but I feel like after that, and then these last 2 years, Hearthstone has become, at least in the, you know, the meta game, it's got its problems. There's some broken stuff. There's non-interactive stuff that pops up all the time, but I feel like the intention is there now, and the game feels more like Hearthstone these days than it has in a long time. In Sunken City, the last, you know, the Year of the Griffin there, the Castle Nathria, Lich King is a big part of that, and I'm gonna really miss this set. And again, we don't know exactly what it's going to rotate. It's probably going to be, we're going to get that announcement probably pretty soon of everything. We're not going to have time to really talk about this stuff once that's announced, but I wanted to reminisce and, you know, spread that rare positivity on the channel of just, I think the Hearthstone team did a great job, especially with this year, and I'm really sad to see it go, and I wish so many of these cards could stick around. And it's just sad that a lot of these I won't be able to play in Wild because, yeah, yeah, expansions like Stormwind and Fracture Nathria Valley or whatever still dominate Wild. It is such a quest-driven degenerate format that I can't even really enjoy these cards of old in those formats. So yeah, I'll give a salute to this year. Let me know what you guys think about it. Are you happy or sad to see things go? Because let's be real, I'm definitely going to be very, very happy to see a card like Objection go. One of the most freaking frustrating cards ever. This year was definitely not innocent. I object to that notion. But, you know, for every objection, there was a lot more good stuff from this year. And, you know, the Theotars and all that. Let me know what you guys think about all that. And again, yeah, Objection, that could go suck a big one. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.